What's up, y'all? It's Carcino. We haven't done an album versus album in a while. Prince death threw everything out of whack for that, so we haven't really focused on album versus album. And I just like, man, time went by doing other stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't done an album versus album in a minute. And then I looked at what I was working on. This one. Eazy Does It versus Too Short's Life is Too Short. Now the younger audience, once again, I know you guys gonna run right out and just say Eazy because that's what you've been introduced to more than Too Short. You know, most of y'all just know Blow the Whistle. Now, Too Short was actually out long before Eazy even thought about making a record company. He was spitting dirty raps long before Ice Cube thought about rapping. Okay? Matter of fact, one of the first tapes they heard that had cursing on it, Ice Cube and Sir Jinx. Jinx actually had the tape. Raw, uncut, and X-rated. Invasion of the Flat Booty Bitches. And that song was blowing their mind. They are cracking up laughing. It is dirty. And they like, man, the streets had this song off Too Short's album. This is like 86. And they rolling off this song. And the rap that's already out today is inspiring Cube to write dirty raps, but make them funny. Like Too Short. That's why you have songs that ended up on his first album were old songs Ice Cube had written, basically. So when it came to making the NWA Eazy-E record, Ice Cube had very limited production on the album. Because during the time, this was what made it so funny, he thought he was entitled to a lot more off the Eazy-E record, and they was like, man, we helped with that record too. We supposed to get paid too. Where's my money? Ice Cube wrote like 2-3 songs on the record, okay, and felt like he should be paid a lot more. And now he realizes the business side of it instead of the homeboyness of, you know, what they were doing. So, epically, you know, just like everything in life, agendas changed, people's direction changed, but they created was a great album. But MC Ren and DLC provided the better songs. At least that's what I think. You know, other people might agree or might not agree, but I think that DLC and Ren, they the ones who really made the album for me. From the very first song, Still Talking, the intro song, the DOC wrote that. Nobody Move, Ren. Ruthless Villain, of course, Ren. Two Hard Mothers, Ren. Boys in the Hood, okay, which is what launched the album. That was to Ice Cube's credit. But the only other song he had on there was No More Questions. That's the only one anybody remember. Eazy Chapter 8 verse 10, nobody plays. So that was his contribution to the record. Was Boys in the Hood are always hard. They come. That's what everybody know. And because Straight Outta Compton movie, everything else, Boys in the Hood, everyone acts like this is what started everybody. NWA started everybody into gangster rap, and this is just maybe with all the guns and stuff, but if you listen to Too Short records, when he talking about Oakland, it was more players, but they were still doing some gangsterness in them records. You gotta understand. So, even though I hear it, I was around when this was out. And this was the biggest debate next to who's better, Prince and Michael Jackson. It was Eazy or Too Short. People was crazy about that. They always have to do comparisons. Now, reviewing the album, actually, Eazy Duz It, I like it way better than I like the NWA Straight Outta Compton album. To me, this is the best work they've done. Because all the songs are great. You know, like Easier Said Than Done. The DOC wrote that. We Want Easy. Doc and Ren. They smoked that one out. Boy, you should have known by now. Eazy Duz It. Classic. Everything was on this album is a classic. Except for Eazy Chapter 8 Verse 10. Even though I'm going to break it down with MC Ren when they took out the profanity. They did 2 songs that they could put on the radio. And then they remixed Boys in the Hood so they could play it on the radio. MC Ren wrote, radio, radio, radio. And people ate that up. There was nothing they could do wrong on him with production and the mastering. Big Bass Brian, he did all the mastering, and then they had great engineers at that time that was coming up that ended up doing work with a lot of different artists like Celine Dion. They went on to evolve more than just rap, but this album like grew a lot of people up in the game. They've been able to stamp this on their and submit it in their files. So the production on this album alone set apart, from other rap albums. It went on to sell 2 million records at that time. Who knows where it is now? But back then, they sold 1 million records quick with this album. Because this was like really introduction to gangsterness. Eazy-E's on the cover, and they look like a gang. Where Too Short was more smooth playing this and introducing people to the side of Oakland. Now, even though he had Born to Mac, because of the success of Raw and Cutting X Rated, Born to Mac, to me, it was okay. It just wasn't, it was like his first real major album. And it really wasn't that great. It came out, it had a couple of shorts on there, songs that I like Playboy Short, and of course Freaky Tales is the standout hit of the album. But to me it wasn't outstanding. It was some songs that's on there, it was just, But Life Is Too Short, oh my God. From I Ain't Tripping, Life Is Too Short, cuss words, Don't Fight the Feeling, with Forte on there, Pimp the Whole City of Dope, cuss words, let them roll, mother, and that was like, man, dude, Oakland, everything on this song is a classic. This was it. The bass, the guitars, it was sick. And back then, people didn't realize the reason why they was rapping over old classic beats. Because these are the songs you grew up listening to in your house at the time. All this bass and, funk. And Oakland is all about the funk. I'll tell you that right now. All these funk bands and music. Oakland is like the country part of California. That's the throwback area. That was where you went to chill and kick it, to get away from LA. You go to the bay. Kick it in the bay. Take that 2-hour drive or whatever it is, and go on and relax in the bay. Get back down to earth. You know, when things are like a little simpler, you show you respect, you get respect. But if you disrespect, you'll find out life is too short. Man, this album sold 2 million records, but what it did was introduce people to Too Short, and they thought, oh man, we got another one. And when Too Short been out, and they were like, man, now who better, Too Short or Eazy? Which one's album is better? It put him on a worldwide scale. Life is too short. That is the first time he sold 1 million records. He sold 2 million records off this album, and they had to go back and press more albums to get him out. Tapes and records was selling off the shelf for Life is Too Short. And they was like, dude, we are out. We got to request another 500,000. They was like, dude, we only pressed 500. Well, you better get the pressing, because these people want Life is Too Short. Life is Too Short was probably the first rap album to ever just sell out of copies, because they didn't press nothing but 500,000. See, for what y'all don't know, back in the old days, unless you were somebody like Run DMC, they weren't going to press on no more than 500,000 copies of your album. So when they say they're going to ship you gold, that's what they basically mean. They're only going to press 500,000 of your copies. Now, if they sell 500,000 of your copies, that's great. But if you don't sell at least more than half, or 300 or 400, the rest of that stuff becomes a tax write-off, or they're going to lose the records somewhere, dump them in the ocean. You know, that was the game back then. So some people didn't even get that. You know, off the buzz, they'd be like, yeah, ship 250. We're not shipping more than 250. If we need it, we press it. This album sold out completely. They had to press more records. They couldn't even believe it, how fast Too Short album was selling off the shelf. And this is the first rapper at this time I've ever heard having a female diss him on a record. I'm like, wow, they call you Yuck Mouth. I mean, she was just going in on him, and he got it on his record. I was like, that's genius. Oh man, if I gotta pick a winner between the two, man, I don't know. This is the hardest choice I ever had to make. Cause man, I ain't tripping. I'm finna go watch that video right now. I ain't tripping no more. Really ain't worth my time. Talk about life as a form of hype. Man. I'm gonna go with Eazy Duz It, because not only is every song on that dope, they stand out. This is the closest one. Every time I think I'm done, I run into a wall here, because this is close, because this album was dope and different, in different directions. It had more range than Eazy Duz It. Life is Too Short is talking about all different types of subjects. You know, that's why, man, this is tough. I'm gonna stay with Eazy Duz It, man. Oh man, this is tough. I'm just thinking about some of these songs. Right now, it's blowing my mind. This take you back in the days. Well, anyway, I'm sitting here blowing my mind making this. I'm just stick with that. I ain't gonna let y'all sit around while I'm sitting here thinking about which album is actually better. So I'm gone.